All right, so you're thinking about moving to Merida or at least purchasing a property there. Let's talk about the one thing that is always on the mind of people who are looking to invest internationally, but especially in Mexico, and that is financing. So what we're going to get into in this video is what's the big deal with financing? Is it possible? Are there issues? And above all else, why do people complain about it? Stick around. So my name is Alexander Howell. The thing that I focus on for the most part is real estate, marketing, advertising, and a lot of other things. But on this channel, one of the things that we talk pretty consistently about is investing in a city called Merida, Mexico. Now, for those of you who don't know that, I assume you're pretty familiar with the idea of Cancun from Spring Break, from TMZ and all that. Merida is in the state of Yucatan in Mexico, whereas Quintana Roo is the state that Cancun is in. Whatever the case may be, 3 hours to the west of that by bus is a city called Merida. Now, Merida is amazing and there are direct flights to it. It's got a very nice but fairly small airport, but it has been an expat home for quite some time. And when you talk about people like me who have actually purchased properties there, many of them are in different states of repair. You can buy places that somebody has gone into, renovated, made fantastic, or you can buy a lot, or you can do what myself and my wife did, is go down, find a property that is in disrepair, and then go through the process of renovating that. Now, to be honest with you, at the time of recording here, which is July of 2021, my wife and I are right in the middle of renovating the property with a wonderful architect named Henry Ponce. Now, we have gone through ups and downs between COVID and the rising prices of things like lumber and everything else in the world, but we have enjoyed the process. It's been a little bit complicated, but I'm trying to make sure that I can pass on my knowledge to you so that you understand exactly what you're getting into if you decide to renovate a property. Now, the best way to find out about that information is to like and subscribe to this channel and hit that little notification bell right down below here, and that will let you know anytime one of my videos goes live, or if I'm live streaming, you can get on the live stream. I can answer any questions that you might have, and please feel free to ask them. If you really want to ask them directly, please feel free to visit my website, alexanderhowell.com. Go to the Contact Us page, fill out the form. All that does is send an email directly to me. Other ways to get a hold of me, 816-727-7740 is a direct text to me. You can also go to my social media at Alexander from KC. I'm pretty much everywhere, but my main jam is Instagram. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, please feel free, again, at Alexander from KC. Contact me, 816-727-7740. But let's continue on the path of talking about exactly what you're getting into. Now, I'll be honest, I have covered at length purchasing properties, what we're thinking about doing once we rent the property, our ideas and philosophies about moving down there full-time, part-time, snowbirding, all of those kind of things on this channel. But what I haven't really discussed is the one thing that holds so many people back from purchasing property, and again, that's financing it. And a lot of the questions that I get, whether it's via email in the comments down below or any other way, is how did you make this happen? It's a very complicated thing, and I covered it in a couple of videos, but basically it comes down to this. My wife and I had worked on our real estate portfolio and just investing in general for many, many years, over a decade of buying and selling, selling and buying, trying to make sure that we had the proper funding to basically buy a home in Mexico. We have had this idea since, I'm gonna say, 3 seconds after we met each other. My wife was absolutely obsessed with being in Mexico. She had studied for a semester down there and wanted to eventually have a home down there. Once I traveled to Mexico, I fell in love with the country, fell in love with the people, and I was sold instantly. Now, we initially thought that we were gonna buy on an island called Isla Mujeres, which is right off the coast of Cancun. But property values skyrocketed and we decided that that really wasn't for us about 6 years ago. Then after let's call it a long vacation before our son goes to kindergarten, we found this wonderful city called Merida, Mexico, and we stayed on the beach there for about 4 months. But we fell in love with the city that is 30 minutes inland from the beach. And that's what we actually discovered first. Now, long story short, follow the channel. I have tons of videos describing this, but we fell in love with that colonial city because it is beautiful. The people are wonderful. And to be honest, there are a lot of what we would deem very positive real estate circumstances within Merida. And after touring and visiting and seeing several different properties, I won't say settled, we found the perfect place for us in an area called Chenbec in Merida, Mexico. Now this area is a bit out of the way, but only about a 10 or 15 minute walk from the main plaza and the main, we'll call it road street called Paseo de Mateo. It is a wonderful location, but is definitely a little bit further out. The positive about that is that we could then renovate things and make them wonderful, which if you follow my Instagram, you're going to see a ton of pictures that show the 3D renderings of what we are about to do. Actually, what we are currently undertaking. So follow it. It's going to be a fun journey. And we're actually going to go down there in a week. I'm so excited. Anyway, let's get back to it. So all of that being said, one of the most difficult things to explain to people is how do we do this? And again, I've already said it was a lot of investing previously, knowing the path that we were going on, that we wanted to invest in Mexico. Here's where the buck stops. Getting financing for a Mexican property is ridiculously difficult if you are somebody that, like us, lives in the United States. Now, I've heard, I cannot confirm because I don't live there, but I've heard that this is the same for Canada, UK, and several other places. Getting financing for the home in Mexico is very difficult, and especially if you're getting that home in Mexico in a similar situation to us, where that home in Mexico is in need of renovation. Now, I don't want to spoil anybody's dreams here. It is a wonderful place to be. The prices are significantly less than what you will see in many other areas. And as I have said in previous videos, I'm from Kansas City, Missouri, where we have people that move from the coast, from LA, New York, and those areas. They come here, and where they could have had a broom closet in New York or LA, they can have a 40,000 square foot home in Kansas City. It's a similar difference once you go to Merida, Mexico. However, in a situation like what we are in, we are building a pretty sizable place. That's why we wanted to get a bit away from the main locations, Santiago, Santa Ana, those areas, and build an area like Chenbec, where there are some properties that, while large, were undervalued, at least in our opinion. But that being said, it's still expensive to purchase. Our home ended up being about $115,000 to $120,000 for purchase price. And then we had to consider the investment that we were putting in to make it the property that we wanted. And again, we went far and above what most people probably want and or need. But our investment into this place is probably going to be in and around $500,000, just being honest. Because of what we have previously done, because of what we have saved, we have the ability to do that. But the whole point of this video is to say that one of the first things that we were told when we were looking to invest in this property was, do you have the cash to do what you want? The answer for us was, if we refinance everything, if we sell a couple of things, if we use some cash on hand that we have, yes, because we know that this is a place that we are going to, at the minimum, retire to. At the most, live immediately in. And once we knew that we had a way forward. However, like I said in the beginning, a lot of the comments that I have are, what's financing? How does that look? And the only thing that I can tell you is this: it is ridiculously difficult. It is tough for all parties, and you better be prepared for every question imaginable. The only person that I have talked to that has successfully financed a property, and this has happened in the past, but the only person I have directly talked to had to take a plane from Merida, Mexico to Mexico City and back just to make sure that they signed to the proper bank, got the proper terms, and everything worked out right. It's a little bit difficult. I will say, I know a lot of you are probably yelling at your screen saying, it's much better than that. Comment down below. Tell everybody who watches this video in the comments down below exactly what you experienced or what you know about this, because I don't want to mislead anybody. I am talking about my understanding, my perspective, and the conversations that I have had with experts on this channel and otherwise. Another thing to consider when you're talking about loans is, and I looked at this today, and this is July 14th, 2021, the day of this recording. Rates in the United States were 3% and below for 30-year mortgages for people that had a 740 plus credit score. That doesn't go to everybody, but that is what I saw today when I checked rates. And When I checked rates for Mexico, they were coming up on 9%, which means that when you borrow in Mexico, it is at least 3 times more than when you borrow in the United States of America as a United States citizen with a 740 credit score. So does that mean it's impossible to borrow? Absolutely not. You can go through all the hoops and make sure that you find somebody that is an expert that will be able to help you out. But what it does mean is that it is more difficult and you're going to have to do a lot of research to figure out exactly what you need to do. This is not something I did. So if you go on that path, make sure that you find a good advisor, find a good realtor, and find somebody who has traveled that path before and can help you out in your journey. So my number one comment is this. I think Merida, Mexico is one of the best places that you can invest in. This is not investment advice. I used to be a financial advisor. I am no longer a financial advisor. I just think Merida, Mexico is a wonderful place to invest in because when you look at retirement, when you look at the expat community, there is a positive expat community, but it is very small to the amount of people that are actually in Merida, Mexico and the state of Yucatan. There's about a 10,000 person Merida, Mexico expat community. The population of Merida is just, I'm going to say around 1 million people. So take that for what it's worth. It's a good population, but it's not so big that it's like San Miguel de Allende or something like that. It's a good population. You're going to have a wonderful time. You can meet up with a lot of people like you, but you are still in a city that keeps its Yucatecan traditions and its Mayan traditions, which for me was one of the most intriguing parts about Merida as opposed to most other places that I've been to. So if you're looking to invest in Merida, Mexico, the number one thing I will say is make sure that you have enough cash on hand to purchase and renovate a home, and that's it. And if you want to engage in financing, just make sure you do a ton of research ahead of time. And one of the best ways that you can find out about all of this is visiting the Facebook page that I started for this channel, which is facebook.com/group/travel2Merida. The only reason that I created this group was because I wanted a group on Facebook where you could go to say, I have a question, it gets answered, and everybody moves on. No cattiness, no ridiculousness, just question, answer, done. So again, facebook.com/group/travel2Merida. We'll put it right here. And hopefully you enjoy it. Also, feel free to visit me on any of my social media links, Alexander from KC, at Alexander from KC, Instagram, Twitter, a bunch of other places. You can follow me there. Like I said before, Instagram is my main jam. Also, you can feel free to send me a direct text, 816-727-7740. That literally sends me a message to this phone. And that's what it is. So if you want to ask me a question directly, feel free to do that. And alexanderhowell.com is, again, the best way to reach me if you want to get me via email. One last thing, please feel free to like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the little notification bell right here or here. I can never determine which one it is, but that'll let you know anytime that I go live on streaming. Most of you guys have said Saturday. I'm going to try to make that happen every Saturday. I'm not going to promise, but I'm going to try. But if I go live streaming, you'll be the first to know about it. If one of these videos pop up, you'll also be the first to know about it. And if you do enjoy the content on this channel, please feel free to hit the link in the description below. Click join and become a traveler or a voyager. That just allows this channel to kind of grow and get a little bit better quality as we continue on. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I always appreciate the views and the subscriptions, but the thing that I really appreciate the most is the fact that there's so many of you who comment and talk to me and explain your situation and your desire to go to Merida and Mexico and just honestly travel the world. So thank you so much for being a part of this community. I really appreciate it. And as always, peace.